What's going on, family, and welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing just the start of this whole week coming up. Beginning of June, we're going to be talking about the Fast and the Furious franchise. And today we're going to be starting off with the one that started it all, the Fast and the Furious, back from 2001. Now, this movie excited me in so many ways. I remember first seeing it. I was about 14 years old, and I remember coming out that theater and saying, this is going to be a classic. And that's exactly what it was. Who would have knew 20-something years later, they'll still be pumping out these movies. It changed a lot. The franchise definitely changed a lot from the first one. And we're going to be explaining and talking about the first one, which I thought was amazing. You know, so far we have about 8-9 movies. And I think this one was one of the three that I liked really the most. And, you know, there aren't too many movies of the last dozen years, right, to have a bigger impact on society like this one did. I remember the Fast and the Furious back then, to me, glorified street racing, and it made the Honda Civic and the other cars in the movie featured must-buys, especially for teenage boys, which I was at the time, across America in general. I remember the reason, it's pretty obvious, the movie was not only outstanding, but it was very generational. You know, it put different people together, like this cast. Now you got Paul Walker, who was simply amazing in that role. You have Vin Diesel. What can we say about Vin Diesel? Jordana Brewster and Michelle Rodriguez, who was awesome in her role. And, you know, the others in this, even the role players in this movie, are very unique, very standoutish, very outstanding. And the story is really interesting and unique. And what I loved about this movie was it wasn't just visuals. It wasn't just basic cars. And no, the movie had a plot. And the characters are all really well developed. I love the way that, you know, Dom, the main character, Vin Diesel's character, he throws in a lot of sudden details that eventually throughout the other movies, you know, you do piece them. And, you know, besides the characters being well developed, you know, creating this immersive viewing experience not often seen in movies, under 2 hours or so. Very unique. The cars and race scenes were fantastic, and the action has you sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time. You know, especially with the dialogue and some of the scenes here. I remember seeing this movie, and I think maybe months later or whatever it is, I forgot I was only 14 still, so they actually put this in the cafeteria, not in the cafeteria, in the auditorium, to, you know, for some reason, you know, we didn't have nothing to do. The gym teacher wasn't there that day. They decided to put us in the auditorium, and we saw a movie, and they happened to put this movie on. And it was funny because, you know, in this movie, if you didn't know, part one has kind of a, you know, minor sex scene between Paul Walker and Jordana Brewster. And I was dying that they played it in a school, but you know, who would have thought this would have been a classic, man? The only negative for me was that, you know, some of the cinematic effects, you know, the director, you know, tried to get too cute, but I think it helped the movie in many ways. But we'll get back to that. You know, that's just a nitpick at the end of the day. Overall, this movie to me was a solid entertainment, well done action movie. You know, it's the first one is not a heist movie like the others are. The Fast and the Furious, it's a solid action film and the start of this franchise. I love this film because it's pretty much about my third favorite in the series. You know, I wasn't watching this film for the cars or the street races. You know, back then, you know, even back then, I enjoyed a story. I enjoyed the plot. And this movie, to me, was kind of a ripoff of Point Blank, I believe, with, yeah, Swayze and Keanu Reeves. The only thing, they did it with cars instead of planes and, you know, surfboards. But if you're going to copy a movie in any way, this was the way to do it. And there's only 2 other movies in the movie that I just mentioned, Point Break, the original, and then they had a remake. Well, this movie is continually going strong. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, this film has robbery in it, a string of high-speed electronic truck robberies that rocked areas. The team steals about $1.2 million worth of major electronics, and the cops don't even have a lead. But there's only one team that could be responsible for it, right? And that's Dominique's team and his street racers. And what I liked about this was it's a pretty basic premise. Why I love the film is because it's very clever, very intelligent. You're entertained throughout. It has a fast-paced and not kind of boring film feel. The girls in this movie are beautiful. The action sequences are pretty perfect. They're well done. I love that the late Paul Walker, may he rest in peace, plays Brian O'Connor, who's this undercover LA police officer who's trying to do the right thing, but gets caught up at the same time with actually having feelings for these people. And I was a huge Paul Walker fan before even this movie. I liked, Joyride. I liked a few films that he was actually in that he wasn't really the main star, but you could tell he has so much potential. And this movie really stood it out. He will always be remembered as Brian O'Connor. And he's one of my favorite characters in this whole franchise. And in saying that, Fast and the Furious, the original, this one that we're talking about now, is better than the sequel, it's better than 3, it's better than even 7, some would claim. And Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, and Jordana Brewster did a terrific job playing their characters. They already set this, not only script and plot, they set this series in motion. It's up to the script to deliver the real substance of the movie, right? No matter who was going to play it, but, one often sees great performances in mediocre films. And here, the story transcends performances. The movie transcends time, and it's reinforced by the fine performances by Paul Walker at the end of the day, and particularly that chemistry between him and Vin Diesel. Man, it's tough. Diesel's Toretto was a tough, no-nonsense, street-smart and high-skilled racer on the outside, but as O'Connor sees throughout the movie, and the audience, as you come to see Dominique, you see that he actually has a heart, and you get to know him. It's revealed that he's a human being with feelings, and he has a troubled and pretty much hard past, and that's why he's so solid on the outside, and doing his best to get along with even the means of, sometimes breaking the law, which he tends to do. And you can tell he's the head of the household. There's nothing more important to him than family, and he's the patriarch of. Sorry about that. But he's the patriarch of this family, of sorts of his own gang. And what I love about it is the collection of members in this group, which are family. You can tell he's been with Michelle Rodriguez's character for a very long time. He looks out for her sister in such a way. And the way he treats the other people in the gang, you can tell it's all about family, man. Nothing matters more to him than that. Vin Diesel brings his hard-nosed and gritty energy to the role, which was very appreciative, especially him at that time. But the compliments that with a softer tone, or the more accessible sides that make him pretty much vulnerable. And so kind of makes him kind of like an anti-hero. It's crazy because in reality, he's a bad guy. They're bad guys from day one. Man clearly in the wrong, but not maliciously or spitefully so. Walker, too, is excellent as this undercover officer that, finds the world of underground racing not so seedy as it seems. And on the turbocharged streets of LA, a place where I'm dying to go one day, never been, you figure out that every night there's a championship race with intense full throttle action, awesome high-speed stunts, and full-on pedal to the metal intensity. This Fast and Furious assault puts you in the driver's seats, and it delivers you to exceed all limits. Los Angeles police officer Brian O'Connor must decide where his loyalties really lie when he becomes pretty much enamored, with the street racing world that he has been sent to pretty much destroy as an undercover agent. It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. These quotes in the movie are what make the movie. I remember when Vin Diesel says these lines, it's like, whoa. I remember I had hairs and goosebumps because he's so right. You know, I'm paying homage just with this video and the t-shirt, right? It's so him. He's like this brooding figure that has a soft side, but he doesn't give a fuck at the same time. He's all about family, very similar to me. And man, I just find it so entertaining. You know, the Fast and the Furious is a gritty, gratifying, cheap thrill for the most part. Director Rob Cohen's high-octane, hot car scenes are very true, but very rare, especially at those times in the early 2000s. You know, they had a really good exploitation, the sort of thing that would rule at drive-ins if they existed. You know, this movie was epic. Fast and the Furious was a great action flick, and it offers a conventional plot, man. You know, but sometimes it populates the story with well-developed primary characters that draw the audience in. You know, it draws you in. You know, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't pause it, even though you have those options, but you just want to stay in there and make them. And this movie makes you care about these character stories. In the movie, the line between good and bad becomes very blurred to the point that by the end, it doesn't even matter which side of the law the characters call home. You know, you're rooting for them, whether they're bad, whether they're good, whether they're in between. Like, majority of the time they are. You know, I love this film to death. Like I mentioned earlier, it's my favorite film. It's like my third favorite film in the franchise. The Fast and the Furious, you know, started off the franchise in a great way. This movie kicks ass. And, you know, not to even mention, it's a PG-13 film. And, you know, Brian O'Connor, Dominic Toretto are staples, or these names, and they're fictional. And whenever anybody talks about these names, you know Paul Walker's attached, and you know Vin Diesel's attached, and if it wasn't for the charisma and the charm and this ensemble cast, trust me, these action heroes with these chiseled triceps and slabs and pecs and all this would have been nothing. You know, those people that we acknowledge in the 80s, like Stallone, Chuck Norris, Van Damme, Seagal. I think movies like this pay homage to those guys, you know, in different ways, but pretty much switched up how they do action films from this film on. And you definitely got to go see it, man. You know, this movie was definitely short on plot, dialogue, but it pumps your blood. You know, it increases it with adrenaline, and it makes you want to go race right after the movie. Definitely go check it out. Gave this movie 8 out of 10 easily, and we're gonna continue with this franchise along. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on my Discord. Hit me up on my Instagram, Israel's Movie Reviews. Hit me up on my channel. And if you want more content from me at the end of the day, just subscribe, man, and keep logging in. I appreciate you guys. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and I look forward to seeing you at the next review. Peace.